this is a live lesson, workshop, call it what you want, on how to improve your bass playing speed and dexterity, I guess. Now, I'm not a sort of advocate. I'm not sort of saying that playing fast is a really important thing and it's something you should just aspire to all on its own. But the truth is, some bass parts are kind of tricky to play. They might be fast. There might be little passages in some of those lines that need a certain amount of chops. So it makes that sense that you either spend time practicing those individual pieces or spend a lot of time just kind of getting your technique that good that whatever comes along, you're not going to struggle with. And the first answer I have when people ask me, how do I improve my speed on the bass? How do I improve my dexterity? They might have a piece that they're really struggling with. The first answer is you got to slow it down. And I mean like really, really, really slow it down. So that's number one. You've got to start practicing it. Even though you can already play it faster, start playing it really, really slow. And also, for my money, even better, with a metronome or a drum machine. I'd almost say that is a must. But if you haven't got one, you're going to struggle, right? So, yeah, start really, really slowly and play it really, really slowly until you get really comfortable with it and really inside it, and only then build it up a little bit at a time, right? And this really works. I mean, it's a proven thing. People use it in, in sport, things like that. People who do, martial arts and stuff, they'll do all the movement. I could actually do it really, really slowly. And then they can feel every muscle movement and all the rest of it and get really inside it. And, it's a proven thing. It really works. But it takes patience, and you've got to stick at it. So these guys have promised they're going to have a go at this over the next hour. So I'm going to hear our candidates that are waiting in the green room. Going to come back to you in one sec, guys. Just before we go on, if we haven't met before, my name's Scott Whitley, by the way, and I regularly produce content like this to help you become a better bass player. So if you don't mind, click like and share the video, and be sure to subscribe and click the grey bell icon so you get notified when I make more of these videos. Just before we get into it, Janet Whitley, any more people in the house?
Yeah, apparently Elisa and Greg Il-Sabal. Greg actually says it's Whitley, he meant to say, not Wiley.
Ah.
So his mum's maiden name was Whitley, and she was an Aussie.
Flipping egg, right.
And we've got Tactical Gnome.
How you doing?
And Jira. This is a test. I'm sure people are putting these names on to test me. I'm sorry if I get this wrong. Jirani Adam. We've got Skip 2 from Manchester.
How you doing?
Yeah, so there we go.
Fantastic. We've got Manchester and Brazil today.
We have a France and Germany.
And France and Germany,
yeah.
Right. Here we go, guys. I'm going to make... you're going to hopefully be able to hear these guys now. So, here we are. First of all, let's bring up... I'm going to try and make you big. Hang on. Where are we? Stephen McGrath. I'm a bit of a novice with this. Hang on. Make host? No. Spotlight, isn't it? How do I make you big, sir?
Hey, I can see them. I see an SWB1 bottom left.
Yes.
White one.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't really matter. How do I... Oh, you are spotlighted. How do I make you big then? Do I go up here?
Yay, I see it.
Speak of you. There we go. Steve McGrath, everybody. How you doing, man?
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to see a friendly face.
Yeah, nice to be doing this on a Sunday.
Thanks. Really appreciate it. So, have you chosen a little piece that you're going to kind of try and, work on over the hour, improve as it were?
Yeah, well, at first I was going to do like a scaly thing.
Yeah.
And then I figured, well, I suppose people know like how to make that. This concept works really well with scales. You start slow. So I said I'm not really a big cover guy.
Yeah.
So I said I'd pick a cover that I will not be able to play very well. Right. That I did before. So I'm gonna do this Davey 504 piece called Slap.
Okay.
So I picked that because it's not super fast, but then there's fast triplety bits.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like technically hard bits that you really need to slow down to get under your hands to play it properly. You could easily fluff through it at the tempo it's at, but to really play it properly, you have to slow it down and do the process like you were saying.
Absolutely. Right. And so are you going to be brave and give us your best shot where you're at with it now?
Try it about there, 75.
Okay.
Well, best step it up. So yeah, it's kind of tricky because it goes from fast to slow, and then it has that, what do they call it, the lick?
All right. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of tricky bits in it.
Yeah. So great. Right. Okay. But I mean, it already sounds great, by the way. So you can go off into your little space there, and you start working on that. So I'm gonna move on to the next candidate. Thanks very much for that, Stephen. We're
Cheers.
gonna check in with you soon, and let's say hello to Jono. Here we go. So I'm just gonna have to mute. Hang on a minute. I'm a novice with this, guys. So,
I'll mute myself, Scott.
you can do it there, can you? Right. Okay. Nice one. Okay. So let's say hello to Jono. Let's see if we can do that. So we can replace spotlight. There we go. How are you doing, man?
Hey.
Great to
Very
see
good.
you. Thank you for doing this.
No problem, Scott. It's a pleasure.
You're almost a braver man than I, actually. So, have you had to think what you're going to work on for this period of time?
Yeah, the same again. I was going to pick something a bit different, but then when I saw all these other amazing bass players, I thought I better pick something a bit different. So the track I'm picking is called "You Save Me" by the Winery Dogs.
Okay.
There's like an intro bit what Billy Sheehan does.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
On the bass, and it's led by the actual bass itself. It's a two-handed tapping technique, so
Yep.
I thought it may be a bit different.
Absolutely.
It's nothing crazy. It's nice and melodical for Billy.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
We all love Billy. He's great player. Yeah, I love his. Yeah, there's a lot of love for Billy. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to be brave and give us your at this moment version of it?
Yeah, I'll just butcher it.
Give up.
So it's
Cool as.
just like it's got the pedal notes with the right hand and the melody with the left.
Yeah, nice job, by the way. So, yeah, I mean, that's just the kind of thing I'm talking about where, yeah, you know. So, I'm going to leave you in your own space then. So, everybody, Jono, there we go. Let's see you
Thank
in
you.
a bit. Can you mute your mic at your end? Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine. That was it.
All right, man. And we're going to move on now. So, just quickly before we do, if anyone's just joined the stream, they're probably thinking, who are these people? What's going on? I thought it was Scott Whitley. So what's happening is there are 5 bass players in the wings, and they're going to take something that they haven't played for a while or they've not practiced very much, and they're going to spend the best part of an hour doing this process of slowing things down and then building it up, to really improve. So let's move on to the next victim. Right, here we go. So, guys, you might, I don't know, you might need to turn me down or something. I'll suss that out anyway. I might get a bit annoying in your in your ears. Here we go. So, everybody say hi to Patrick. How you doing, man? Pat.
Hey, how are we doing, Scott? Everybody all right?
I'm good. I love the bass, by the way. That's a very nice choice there.
It's not too shabby, is it?
It's very cool. So, have you come up with a piece that you're going to work on throughout the hour?
May God have mercy on my soul. I'm going to have a crack at Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick.
Fabulous. Great choice. Yeah.
It's one of those tunes that when you bring it up to speed, it gets a little bit messy, a little bit unclean. So I haven't played it for a while, but I'll love to have a crack at it and see what I can do with it, really.
It's a perfect example, yeah. So again, if you want to kind of crack on, and like I say, everybody's doing the same thing, guys. Let me just bring my thing. They're all slowing it right down, and they're going to work over it for the period of an hour, and hopefully, by the way, actually, are you brave enough to give us your best shot now? It's kind of important, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Here we go.
Oh! You know what? I'm going to stop there because I've completely butchered that.
No, it's a great job, but this is what we're looking for, right? This is perfect, man. Thank you very much for that, and yeah, so into your practice room.
Oh, my God, yes. Right, I'll speak to you later.
See you in a bit. Okay. Next up, we got another brave soul here, and a good friend of mine, as all these people are. This is Chris Packett. How you doing, man?
All right, Scott. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks so much for doing this. I hope you're going to enjoy it. So have you had a thing? Well, yeah, you were talking. I don't know if you've decided to go with this. We were on the phone earlier, and he was talking about doing Town Called Malice. So here's Chris. Are you still going to do that, do you think?
Yeah, I will do, because, I mean, it's one of those, you've got to be precise. You're up and down the neck.
Yeah.
You've got all that there. So you've got to be on the money, really, with it. It's a bit tricky. So it was always one of those for me where I had to keep on top of it in a band situation all the time.
Sure, yeah.
That's it. Every time before I played a gig, I had to get on top of that number every single time.
Yeah. No, it's exactly the kind of thing we're looking at. So yeah. So you've given us a bit of that. And then, again, if you want to go into the practice corner, as it were, we stay there, actually. But and we'll catch up with you in a bit, Chris. All right, mate. So, same as everyone just practice it really slowly and build it up. And we have got somebody else here in the house. Rainier Siemens, how you doing, man?
Hi, mate. Yeah, I'm fine. Fine, thank you.
This guy is another wonderful player, and he's been known to play an SWB1 here and there in the past, which is nice. So, have you chosen a piece that you're going to work on today?
Yeah, well, I've chosen a piece by Charlie Parker, Scrapper from the Apple.
Okay.
I never listened to bebop, but it's such a great style of music to practice technique.
Yeah.
And I want to focus a bit on playing some fretless again. So
cool.
I thought it would be a good challenge to play it in tune also.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, doubling the difficulty level right there.
Yep.
Okay. So, do you want to give us? Would you be brave enough to give us a run through of some of where you're at now?
Let's see. I have to switch something here.
Okay. Cool, right? Absolutely awesome. Now, by the way, it doesn't matter. Don't panic about it. Your audio was cutting out a little bit. Now, I don't know if it's something to do with something called original. It doesn't matter. We heard some of it. Great job. And so let's see where you get with that. He's going to go and practice that again, like everybody else, for an hour, and we'll report back later. Okay? Cheers, man. See you in a bit. So I'm going to mute those guys. I'm going to mute my mic for you lot as well, so I don't trouble you. Okay, there we go. All right, so have we got anybody else in the house, Janet Whitley, since I did all that?
Let's have a look. We've got Cyril IA. He's following you from India.
Oh, wow.
He says, I'm so glad to be here. Keep up the great job. And Walter Mitty, of course, he's from Malaysia. Good day, everyone from Malaysia. So we're literally all over the world today.
It's fantastic. Isn't it amazing?
It is.
And we're live on 5 platforms as well.
It's incredible. We've got Tactical Gnome.
How you doing?
And we've got Chicken Minute.
Oh, that's a new one. How you doing? Welcome to the stream.
So we've just got, and we've also got Official Cersei Vic.
How you doing?
So we've got a question here.
Okay.
I don't know whether this is to everybody. Patrick's asking, not Patrick, who's...
I've got you. Yeah.
Patrick Verheij. If anyone here has an iPad, try AnyTune Pro Plus. Oh, no, it's not a question. It's actually telling us.
Suggestion, yeah.
Try AnyTune Pro Plus for great song management, slowdown function, and other great functions to nail those impossible songs. That's
brilliant. Has he put a link there?
No. If you could put a link, Patrick, that would be great.
It would be, because, I'm not and sort of an Apple user myself. So
Plenty are, aren't they? So
exactly. So I always find it hard to recommend things. So that's great.
Tactical Norm says, love the attitude bass. I'm assuming that's one of the guys.
Yeah.
Mike Edwards says, hit me with your rhythm stick is what I struggle with as well.
Okay.
So this could be useful when they come back.
Absolutely. And I'm going to talk through the process myself. The trouble is I couldn't possibly do what they're doing. I don't think anybody could sit and watch that for an hour. So that's why I've drafted in these wonderful bass players to give me a hand with this.
I don't know whether there's a question here, but
okay.
I don't know whether it's kind of maybe something you can cover in another thing or not.
Okay, yeah.
Or whether it might sort of fit into what you're doing today. Official Cersei Vic says, how do I work on my movement and licks with just a major pentatonic and a major scale? So is that something you might cover? Yeah,
I'll probably cover that because I'm going to try and keep it topic specific. So just for anybody that's joined the stream, we're talking about how to improve your speed. Now that is related, but this is more of a general thing, general kind of advice for increasing your speed if you're struggling to play a particular piece at the same speed as the record or something like that.
Actually, they were being they've just said on a 1-4-5 progression, so they did actually specify.
Ah, right.
So,
okay. Yeah.
Maybe that's something you could cover
absolutely.
In the future.
Yes, that's it. Jan, my secretary, would you mind making a note of that, please, Janet?
Of course, sir.
All right. So if you've got any questions related to this or suggestions related to increasing your speed on playing, now don't forget, I'm not suggesting that becoming a fast player as such is something to aspire to. It's impressive when people can play fast. It's more like a necessity thing. It's either if you've got that odd piece that you really struggle with, how do you get there? How do you improve your speed? How do you break that barrier that you've met, right? And the other is just as a general way of working with every single thing you learn. Scales, arpeggios. I even practice hard tunes, if you like. If there's something that's hard to play, I'll try and practice it so I can play it faster than it needs to be played. And then when you get back to playing it at the right speed, it feels pretty comfortable. So somebody mentioned, in fact, I'm going to be brave and I'm going to throw something in completely different to what the other guys have done. This is going to be nothing because I'm not plugged in. Hang on, guys. Yeah, one of the things I used to practice a lot, particularly when I was teaching at college, was scales and arpeggios, right? And I used to be playing them all day, and they got really, really quick and slick and all the rest of it. Now, I haven't practiced these for ages, right? So I'm going to use those as an example. Now, the first thing that I recommend people do when they want to improve the speed is slow down. It's the only way to eventually increase your speed, right? And people sometimes have a problem with that because it's kind of boring and it's, So I've got, let me try and demonstrate what I mean. There are other things that I'm going to talk about in a minute that can help because sometimes you can reach a, you can do all this that I'm talking about and you have to repeat it on a kind of daily basis or whenever you practice. You have to go right back, 60 BPM, whatever, and build it back up again. And over time, you improve. But sometimes you still struggle. So, for example, a lot of people are familiar with some of Mark King's things, you know, like that sort of thing, right? Now, I'm going to be honest, and 90% of bass players that I meet, you know, I struggle to do that. I would struggle to play that song from start to finish without just having to go like that on occasion, right? So sometimes you meet things where it is probably a physical limitation of you or me or whatever, and you might have to find another way around that. But sometimes there are little things you can do, such as just relaxing. That's massive, by the way, you know, just relaxing a little bit. You know, maybe altering the technique you're using, maybe hinting at those 16ths instead of playing them all, things like that. I'll get more into that in a second. But, yeah, but basically, I'm not going to do the whole thing. That's what the guys are doing here. I'm going to have a go at playing like a 2 octave. This is, for me, it should be a relatively easy thing because I've practiced them that much, but I haven't done them for ages. So what I'm going to do is a 2 octave major 7 arpeggio, right? Let's have a see. So that's, I'm going to play it kind of across the neck, right? Ish. Yeah, I'm going to do it like that. See, I was rushing it, right? Instead of like taking my time to play it. So if I were to try and play that at anything like speed, let me get a drum machine going. It's not going to be very good. Right. So if I need to play that at 16th notes, at that speed, let me have a go. So I kind of, what is that? That's 93 BPM, right? I kind of did it, you know, but it wasn't very good. It was a bit rough and stuff. So what I would do, if I was practicing that thing, and this is a great idea to do things like this, just to get your, you know, to get your coordination and your chops going, I would slow that right down to... Right, that's like 43 BPM, I think. And I'm just going to play 8th notes like this. And I would sit at that tempo for quite a while, you know, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and just really try and get it as clean as I can. I'm flowing each note into the other. I'm not going, I'm trying not to get too much of this, just the bare minimum. You know, and I'm trying to play exactly in time with the drum machine. I'm trying to make it sound like that. It's the bass line on the record. That's the mentality. That's the mindset you got to get into, right? Is you've got to imagine that that's not a slow version of where you want to be. That's a record, you know. That's a track, yeah. And this is the bass line, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and only when I'm like, I don't think I can play that any better, you know, would I increase the tempo. And I'd increase it by a small amount. So, you know, I might increase it by, you know, 10 or 15 BPM. I'm going to jump it a little bit and go to 60 BPM. All right, and then I'll try it at this speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. and so on. And again, I'll try and get that as perfect as I can. Other things I'm kind of looking at there is I'm making sure I'm using, you know, good fingering choices and things. I'm trying to play right up against... Oh, let me get this camera on. I'm trying to play... Just give me a sec. Any more? Oh, right, okay. Sorry about that. It's live, don't you know? Yeah, so, what is that? Why can I not see what I'm doing? So I try and play it right up against the fret, okay? So not in the middle here. Try and get up, not on it, but next to it as much as I can. Right? And that, by the way, if you haven't met that idea before, the nearer to the fret you are, the less pressure you have to use. So if you've not done it before, check it out. If you sort of fret a note, say G there, and you start right next to the fret, right? And then what you do is just keep pressing on until you get the note there, and press it no harder, right? Then keep that pressure on and slide that way and listen. Right? So you need much less pressure up against the fret there. So that in itself, you can't pay, you can't pay that kind of attention to this stuff when you just play the thing like blah, 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 blah. You can't pay that kind of detailed attention to it, right? But you can see how as you work that slowly, you're using less effort with the left hand. So ultimately, somewhere down the tempo line, you're going to be able to play that faster. It's going to be easier to play, right? And I would kind of build that up and build that up and build that up and build that up until, you know, I'm like, right, that's as fast as I can go. I might take breaks, you know, do it for like 10 minutes, take a break, 10 minutes, whatever. I could happily do that for an hour, you know, if that was something I really, really wanted to nail in one session. And sometimes I'll spend hours doing that kind of thing. Okay, but it works. It really works. So if you've got that like one thing that you really, really want to play and it's just the speed is just eluding you, it's just, you know, this is what to do. Okay? Any questions so far, Jam?
I'm just looking, and for some reason, I can't see Facebook playing your thing.
Okay.
So I know that's not a question.
No, we just got to go with it.
Because Jim Churi's actually here.
Yeah.
But he's not here. He's kind of on the Facebook page.
Right, but he's not connected on the questions.
No, so
okay, all right,
doesn't
all right.
look, yeah, so just a little bit of a thing. No, Patrick was just saying he posted a link to any tune, but he guessed it was blocked by YouTube.
Oh, right,
So basically, yeah, just look it up in the App Store.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, if you send it to me, if you haven't already, you know, I can perhaps share that in one of my posts. Be brilliant. Thank you. All right. Any more questions, Jan? Or are we about up to date now?
We're up to date, I think, on that. Yeah.
Okay. So other things, like I say, if you have just joined the stream, we're talking about how to increase your speed on the bass, right? And we've got some bass players behind the scenes who I'm going to show you in a minute if I can just get them into the right view. They're all sat there working away, beavering away, except Jono. He's given up. I think he's probably gone, you know, for a tea break, shall we say.
He said, I'm off.
Yeah.
I've had enough of this.
So they're all working on a piece that you might have seen right at the beginning of the video. It's something that they've kind of played in the past, but they're struggling with. And, you know, they're just... Actually, if anybody can just send us a message to check, we are still live, right? They're working away in the background to improve that so we can see the difference. All right? So... let me see. Right.
Skip2 says he's too riveted to ask questions.
Ask away, man. Ask away.
Alan Brasseur's just saying to reduce the tension, you need to fret the string, set your action low, or use lighter gauge or both.
Right. Okay. So this is great advice, right? You know, obviously mine was like a momentary thing that you can do right there and then. But absolutely, okay. Bass setup is like a huge factor in, or can be a huge limiting factor in playing certain things. So for example, you know, I do a lot of like slap stuff and things like that. And, you know, I've had people come for lessons and they're really struggling, and I'll just hand them my bass and say, try it on this. And then they just do it. They nail it, right? So it does actually make a huge difference, right? It's, you know, but let's assume that your bass is already set up nicely and you've got that out of the way. Then, like I say, these tips I'm going to give you will help, will help you push those speed barriers. The main thing is, I keep saying it, is to slow things down and then speed them up. Actually, I'm not sure if my ATEM keeps going on and off, Jan, but anyway, all good. Okay over there, Jan?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I really do think that Facebook isn't streaming this for some
all right.
reason.
Well, I don't know what we can do really, sadly, about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So although I don't know how this message will get there if it's not streaming, but it is on YouTube and it is on my my personal page as well.
You could always put a post after, couldn't you? Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. So other things that can really help, right, are just lightening up on technique. So I've given you that example of playing near the fret, right? And again, just one more time, if you play near the fret, you keep pressing on until you get the note, and no more. That's the amount of pressure that you need to use. And if you try this for yourself, if you do that and then slide this way, the more you move away from the fret, the harder you have to press on. So that's one thing. Another thing is your right hand technique, is to keep the movements as small as you can, right? So we can all get a bit carried away when we're playing live and the fingers are going like this and, digging in and all the rest of it, But in practice, because when you go on a gig, 90% of your technique just disappears out the window, right? It's like that. So you've got to over practice, I find, to combat that. So another thing you can do is really, really lighten up on your right hand technique. So if you're a fingerstyle player, just try some, again, when you're playing, practicing things slowly, just aim to keep the movement, as small and controlled as you can. It doesn't need to be, you don't need to be like, keep it small. And you can see how when you get up to speed, when you're playing things faster, you're only doing that, right? And that is going to be a lot easier than that, okay? I know there are some players out there like Flea and stuff like that who really, really dig in and we've mentioned Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick today, and of course Norman Watright really digs in. But if you can do that, if that's your thing, then fine. But I think for most of us, and this is the whole idea, this is probably why you're watching this video, is we've got to use anything we can to help us get to that goal of playing the thing. And the truth of it is, actually, that, when you dig in, so it can have effect, but it's actually, it's kind of a nicer tone if you don't. And if you do want to dig in, if you just kind of like move your right hand this way a bit, right, it's much easier. I'm just overdriving a little bit there, hang on. You can still dig in, but it's less effort than it would be back here, right? So that's another thing you can do. So any more questions, Jan, or are we kind of up to date at the minute?
Well, Ken Argo says, "Hey Scott, I want a shirt like yours. I'm following from Arizona."
Hey, well, actually, if you look maybe under the video, it might not be there. I've not got the video up at the minute, but there's a thing. I've got a shop on my channel, and you can buy this, and there's like other shirts in my shoes, which are kind of the same artwork as my CD here and stuff like that. So yeah, go check it out. Also, the super chat, by the way, if anybody wants to contribute to the channel, it's next to the live chat, little $sign at the bottom. And if you want your question to pop up really big so Jan can see it and all the world can see it, then you can just drop a super chat there.
It shoots straight to the top, doesn't it?
Straight to the top, yeah, for a given amount of time. I think it's dependent on the amount, So yeah,
Mike Edwards is just actually confirming. He just nipped over to Facebook, and apparently there's nothing there. So there's something happened there.
Yeah.
Maybe put a post on Facebook later.
Sure. Yeah. I don't really know what I can do about that, sadly.
Lee Waterton's saying, buy a mug. It made my coffee taste better.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that's the thing. That is the thing.
Yeah.
Some cups actually do make your brew taste better.
They do. The groovier coffee. All right. So we're going to dip in to check in with the guys here, and I might have to. I might struggle to get their attention. So I'm going to start with Rainier. Let me see. So here he is. Hang on. Let me just right. Rainier. I wonder if I can get his attention. Hello. How you doing, man? Talking to Rainier, by the way, guys. Sorry. How's it going over there? Yeah, you're working hard. Yeah, feel free to, get a glass of water or go for a walk or something. But it's going okay, yeah?
Yeah, but let's do a quick test if you can hear the bass now.
Yeah?
If I do this.
Okay. Perfect. Sounds beautiful, by the way.
Brilliant.
Yeah. He's playing fretless, by the way, guys.
It's the Gary Willis.
That's lovely. I once tried one in a music shop. Beautiful. Really sing, don't they?
Yeah, but the rap thing.
Yeah.
Is normally you dig in a little bit.
Yeah.
But with the rap you count. So it's really, sometimes you just slip over the strings. You have to get used to it. But
yeah, sure. It kind of naturally compresses things. So are you? I'll leave you to it. But are you feeling like you're making progress?
Yeah.
Brilliant,
yeah,
brilliant. Well, look, we've got Chris here now. So let me make you the spotlight for everybody. So how's it going, Chris? Yeah, good.
All right, yeah, it's taken me right back to when I first started playing, really, because you have to go right back to the basics, aren't you? And it really does work.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, so you're seeing improvements already, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Just because I have no idea where we're at time-wise. How long do we think we've been you've been working at it now?
20 minutes.
About 20 minutes, right? Okay, does that sound about right, John? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't trust you, Chris.
I haven't got a clue.
You do realise that it got shorter and shorter for the guys towards the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, Chris, I'll see you in a bit. I'll get back to you soon. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to say hello to Patrick. Here we go. How's he going with you, Patrick?
Well, now I can at least remember the line. I think it's a bit of an improvement.
Brilliant. It does help, doesn't it, right?
It certainly does, yeah. I didn't have to pick one for myself. Yeah, obviously, it's getting better, as you say, taking it slowly and ramping it up a bit. It's going fine. Just cracking on.
Yeah, it works, doesn't it? Nice one. Cheers, by the way. I've got one myself right here. See you in a bit. Okay.
See you in a bit.
So let's see how Stephen McGrath is doing. Here we go.
Hey, Scott.
How you doing?
Good, yeah. Just I went up by 10 BPM, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're doing a song like this, it's a huge difference when you go up by 10 BPM. Absolutely.
And if there's any, which I think there were like 16th bits in that and stuff, right? It's something I don't know, you don't think of the maths of it, but when you go up like 10 BPM and you're doing 16th, it's like much bigger an increase, right? You really notice it. So cool. I'll leave you to it. So it's definitely working, right?
It's working, yeah, but still, I'm new to that double. I only really started double tumming since lockdown, so I've been at it around a year, so that's new to me. So I don't know why I'm doing it live on YouTube, but
because you're a madman.
Pretty much.
Brilliant, mate. I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for that. Okay, and then let's. Who have we not spotted? Jono, I believe. So here we go.
Oh,
how's it going, Jono?
Yeah, I wish I picked an easier part, to be fair.
It's what it is. But, it's just all about making, progress and cleaning it up, whatever,
Yeah. I the 2 parts. I've been just practicing just the left hand.
Yeah.
And then incorporating the right hand after, because each one of the notes is on the beat. So It's just been getting.
Got you.
You know what I mean? And then once I get a tiny bit more comfy with that, I started bringing it in. But I've been sliding it up a little bit. I've got cleaner now already. So it's just getting the speed up.
Brilliant. Yeah, and something I didn't mention. I don't think anyone feels like they have to, but breaks are important sometimes too, aren't they? So you've got to like a couple of minutes, rest, check the hands out, have a walk, whatever.
Yeah, I've nipped off a couple of times because, like I say, it's very hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, mate. Well, I'll catch up with you soon. See you in a bit. So, those brave souls out there, doing a great job. Got any more questions come in, Janet, while I was doing that?
Yeah, we've got Anthony Greatbanks is here. Hi, Anthony.
How you doing, man?
He says, hi, Scott. On working your speed up, I use Ultimate Guitar Pro for guitar and bass. You can slow any tricky bits down, loop these sections, and then it has the option to speed it above the song's tempo.
You see, that's the only downside of the thing I use, which is called transcribe. I talk about that a lot, is I don't think you can actually speed things up in the regular way. You can, but that's a great move. So
would that be an app, do you think?
Was it Guitar Pro?
Yeah, Ultimate Guitar Pro.
Ultimate Guitar Pro. Yeah, it might be. I use Guitar Pro. I started using it. I'm new to it for doing transcriptions of songs to put on my YouTube videos. But so that's a good recommendation there. And it's the same process. It's that slowing it down and then speeding it up. Any more, Jan?
Alain Brasseur says, I noticed that I used to practice without an amp, and because I want to hear what I play, I plucked too hard.
Yeah.
So I turn on my amp a bit louder than it needs and play smoothly and quickly.
Yeah. This is totally a thing. It's you dig in too hard when you're playing acoustic because all you can hear is, So that's a great thing. In fact, I kind of recommend in practice to perhaps turn your bass up a little more than you normally would, and like I say, really work on pulling back and playing more gently, because you can bet your bottom dollar that as soon as you jump on a gig or try and play the piece in front of someone or whatever, you're just going to go, and start digging in anyway. So the more you can almost exaggerate that, I think, in practice, the more you'll kind of find the middle ground when you're gigging. You won't be like balls out, Any others, Jan? Any more questions?
Lee Waterton says, I'm doing this technique right now. I'm learning Tower of Strength by The Mission. Now, I'm not sure whether he means he's doing the technique of the speeding up slowly, or whether he's doing the technique of having the amp on a bit louder so he can play smoother and stuff. So, I'm not sure, Lee, if you want to just clarify, but
good call. It's the way to do it, and so let me just add something in that I bang on a lot about, and that is when you're doing this, use a good solid time bass. So for me, it's the old Zoom, B4. That's I use that all the time when I practice. It sits on my desk, and whenever I plug in, I use that to practice, right? It's just a bit more inspiring. It's not a great drum machine. I wouldn't use that on a recording, but for practice, it's brill.
Lee's just confirmed he's talking about the speeding up.
The speeding up thing. Yeah. Now, there are some people who talk about, never practicing with a metronome because it's not natural and things like that. But I completely disagree. I'm just going to be honest with you. Work on that time being absolutely metronomic, or as you can be, because it never actually will be. Your timing will always be human. And even when you're playing with something like that, when you're playing with a drum machine, that thing's doing that. That's like a machine right? But when you start playing, you know, you're adding that kind of like human sort of feeling there, and you can try and play really behind the beat. I just imagine you're perhaps smoking something you shouldn't, that kind of thing. So that'd be like, really kind of dragging the beat back. You can apply all that stuff, and you've got a reference. You can, like, that's the middle, the drum machine. You know, I'm going to go this side of it and that side of it. But generally, to start with, just be in the middle. You know, just stick with that. All right. So, any more questions, Jam?
No, we're up to date.
Okay. So let me talk about some other ways that you can help increase your speed. So let's just recap. Most important, slow it down. Play it very, very slowly. You know, get really inside it, even if you can already play it faster. Play it much slower, much slower than you can already play it, and then gradually build it up. So that's the biggie, right? And as you go, you're looking at using, as you know, the minimum amount of kind of tension in your left and your right hand, the minimum amount of motion to get the tone you need. You're looking at getting your fretting as perfect as you can. You know, get the movements as small. If you've got your little finger flying out here, practice it really slowly and get everything so that it's, you know, as smooth and perfect as it can be, and then build it up. And when you get it to speed, it'll be so much easier. And then we talked about the right hand using, you know, smaller movements. But like I say, there are these points where sometimes you hit a brick wall. You're like, I've done all that for like months, and, you know, I'm still struggling. Now, I'll give you an example, one I remember. I already mentioned Lessons in Love. And another was, I played a lot of 60s music early on. I'm going to move back a little bit so you can see the whole bass. Or I could do this. I played a lot of 60s music early on in my bass playing career. And this has come up in conversation lately, a song called I Saw Her Standing There. I Saw Her Standing There, the Beatles song, right? So let's have a do at that. So I think it's in E. Doesn't matter. And this might not be absolutely correct. I haven't played this for a long time. All right. And so on. Right. Now, I really, really struggled to play that. Right. I could play it. I could do like a few times round. But when I did it on a gig, you know, forget it. It was like, the arms falling off. And so, you know, I started doing things like, you know, swapping to using a pick for a bit. You know, I'd have a pick there and like switch. And that works. You know, that's totally a thing. If you ever watched, you know, Queen's bass player, Deacon, you know, I'm pretty sure, not making this up, I remember seeing him, you know, on live and stuff like that, switching between pick and fingers. So the tone didn't really, I don't think he was doing it as a tone thing, because I don't remember the tone changing. So I'm guessing it was a kind of switchy technique, because, you know, it's a bit easier now. Might be wrong. But you can do that, but, you know, wouldn't it be better if you could just do something else, right? You know, or if you didn't have a pick. So what I learned to do is to hint at that ba 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 ba. It's all like eighth notes, just constant, non-stop, right? The hand's going like that for like the whole song, and it's fair going some. And still, if I was to go and do a gig, because I haven't gigged for like over a year, if I was to go and gig tomorrow, I've said how as soon as you get on the gig, you start playing harder, right? You know, that kind of stuff's going to be tricky. A lot of rock and rolls like that, you know. You know, it's that full-on eighth notes, right? So what I do is hint at it, right? So I saw her standing there is this. Let me get a drum rhythm that might kind of work with that. Here we go. Or near enough, anyway. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. She was just 17. You know what I mean. And the way she looked, way beyond compare. You know, and so on. It's like, it's fairly full on, right? So what you can do, or what I did was, so I think I'm just removing 1/8 note. Instead of going, let me zoom in. Instead of getting that in between every one, I'm like, so I've missed one out, and it's giving me fingers like a micro rest, right? And that sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was even missing some more out there. And then just filling the odd one in, right? You know, check it out. You know, so I'm just kind of missing some out. And it makes a massive difference. You know, you think over the course of the song, how many like mini rests, I don't mean like musical rests, I mean like, you know, rests to your fingers that you put in, physical rests that you're adding in there, makes a massive difference, right? And, you know, you can apply that to sort of funk 16th type things, right? Wooten does this sort of thing a lot. You know, he's not got a problem playing all the 16ths. Let me try and think of an example. We're not doing it at that speed, that's for sure. So, if I was doing like a, let's call it a regular slap in inverted commas thing, you know, to that in E, I might do something like this. You know, and what I'm doing there is I'm playing every single 16th, all right? And that can get like pretty full on, you know, because you're having to do every single one. So again, you can kind of hint at that feel and physically do less. Let me try that. You know, I'm not going digga 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 digga. I'm kind of like hinting at it, you know, and it's almost more effective sometimes, right? Any more questions, Jan, before I yak on?
No, just a couple of comments. Obviously, Alan pointed out Sir Paul plays it with a pick. I'm assuming she was just 17.
Yeah.
And he was also saying less, as in the notes, is more, as in speed. Yes,
indeed. You know, it almost sounds like a cliche, but it's quite often so much. And like I say, the funk thing there, when I start going... as opposed to... You know, I think the other one's funkier because you're kind of missing stuff out, right? You know, so that hinting at the rhythm, you know, as opposed to, you know, balls out playing the whole thing, sometimes can be, as Alan just said, you know, more effective and easier as well. Okay, so
the two combined, if you practice in the with the metronome, for instance. Practice slow, and then the two combined, missing out notes, you should be bombing it.
Absolutely. You know, that's exactly the case, right? You know, is when you do that stuff slowly. Because you got to get inside it. You got to get into your muscle memory. By the way, that's a lot of it as well. You're programming your muscle memory when you do this slow it down and speed it up thing. Right, so how long we've been live? Anybody care to...
Well, it's 5:05, so it's just over an hour. The guys have had, I think, just a bit less than that, haven't they? So
Yeah. So maybe time to check in with a few. Do you think?
possibly, yeah.
Okay,
But
okay.
I'd do it the same way around because Rani started last.
Oh yeah, you did. So who did we start with? Was it?
It was Stephen.
Was it Stephen? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike
okay.
Edwards, by the way, is saying what a great way to spend a Sunday afternoon.
Oh,
Hey.
the feeling's mutual. Ditto. Okay. So how are we doing, guys? I'm going to drop in, if you don't mind, on our friend Stephen McGraw. Are you ready to go, sir? Wait, one sec. I got you now. Yeah. How are you getting on?
Yeah, good. Getting through it. I've bumped up the BPM a bit. I'm not at the 90 BPM is my target. I'm at around 85 now and still a bit sloppy.
Well, that's amazing, and which is really close. And by the way, again, just something that I can recall when I do this that happens. Sometimes you get to a certain BPM, and then if you just step it back a bit, right, it becomes that much easier again. And you sometimes do that, right? You step it up and step it back, and you kind of, you leapfrog in, and then you reach that point where maybe on that day, that's it for the day, kind of, almost, right? Yeah. So, does that sound familiar?
Yeah, so I'll have a pen and paper, and I'll write down the BPM I reached today that was comfortable, and I'll start at that the next day, or maybe a little behind it. And it's nice to have a little goal, have your target, have it written down, what you're aiming for, and that works well for me.
Absolutely. All right. Well, what I think we're going to do, we're getting to that point probably where it's getting towards an hour, so we're going to start wrapping it up. So, do you want to give us, where you're at now?
Yeah.
Drum roll.
Have you got an edit button for live YouTube?
That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Lovely. Great job, man.
That's it.
And where did he start with that, by the way?
I started at around 70 and I got up to 83, 85, but 90 is a big difference when it comes to that tune. It makes it a lot harder when you get up to the target tempo.
Absolutely. And I was saying before, 16s, and that kind of stuff, when you go up BPM, you really feel the difference. Can you just give us, on your drum machine, is it easy for you to give us the original tempo? Just,
Yeah, it was at 92, I think. The original.
No, sorry, didn't you try it at
70?
70, wasn't it, originally? Yeah. You played it at?
Original, yeah. So I'll play it with that.
Wow, you can really hear the difference there.
Oh, insane. Beautiful. Wow. So the thing is there, guys at home, viewers at home, what a difference. I mean, you owned it at that tempo. It's just off the chart. The feel, the group just sounds so relaxed, and you were playing it better at the fast tempo than you were at that tempo at the beginning of the hour, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's huge difference. So I think when you slow it down, you can fix your little tiny hand motions that you'll trip over when you play fast. You can adjust them little micro adjustments, and you get rid of it. Then when you play faster, you'll get away with it.
Absolutely. Well, great job, man. Thanks so much for being a sport and being involved. Do call on me anytime, to get your own back.
I will.
Steve McGraw. Right. Let's move on. Who was next? Jan?
Jono, I think.
Was it you, Jono, next?
Oh, it can be me if you want.
Let's bring him up. Here we go.
Hey.
Jono, how are you doing? How have you got on? How's the hour been? Or
My fingers haven't dropped off yet.
are they feeling tired?
Yeah, they're okay. I've had a nice break. I've kind of nearly rough got it up to tempo now, to song tempo. So
Amazing.
Squeaky chair included as well.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a spooky squeaky chair, you know. So do you fancy giving us a go? Giving it a go?
Yeah, you'll hear the metronome clicking away if that's a problem. Like, well,
No, whatever's best, you know.
this is at track speed anyway.
Okay. Awesome, man. What a difference. You know, what an absolute difference, you know, from again, it's like you're owning it. Now, if you were to play that now at a tempo where you maybe started off practicing it today or somewhere in between.
Yeah, that was it, to believe it or not, I find it harder to play at the lower tempo.
Well, fine, you know, get one in the middle then. Get one, you know what I mean? Yeah.
We'll get about 70 something.
Okay, so where were you at just a minute ago?
98 that was.
98, and you're now doing it 70, you say?
70. Yeah, 70.
Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens.
Oh.
So... Great, right, yeah. So the thing is, guys at home, again, what you can hear there is how much more, you know, like owned is, and that's words just coming out, you know, on the fly there. You know, it's like you own the part more, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like something you're struggling to get. You know, it starts to become your thing. And an interesting thing, just on that flipping the tempo back, sometimes it's proper weird when you suddenly flip it back. You know, you have to kind of like literally just give it a few minutes just to, right, we're there, you know, and you know.
Yeah.
But great job, man. And your own thoughts on the experience, you know.
Yeah, it's something that I haven't done for a long time because obviously, like family, I've got 3 kids and whatnot, and it's hard to get that practice routine.
Sure.
Especially with, you know, having a day job and everything, and blah blah blah. And that's something I haven't really done for 7-8 years, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you agree it really worked though? I mean, the proof of that.
Oh yeah, you are the proof's in the pudding, isn't it?
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
Cool.
So I think we're on 2 thumbs up out of 4 so far.
Absolutely.
Slowing it down.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
So thanks a million. See you later, man. I'm going to switch over. Thanks so much for being a sport. Same thing. Call on me for anything I can help with. You know, I don't know. I'm good at making coffee. Right. Let's have a look. What we got? Was it Patrick next?
Or
was it Chris?
It could. No, I am not sure now.
Are you up for it, Chris? Anyway.
Yeah. If you want, yeah.
Here we go. Let's so this is Chris, folks. Chris has been a great sport. You know, all these guys were like really last minute agreed to do this, and thanks so much. So Chris was working on Tiger Called Malice.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you found that it's, you know, did you find it works? You know, did you feel the benefit of it over the hour? Like
100% it works. I started, well, it says on the metronome 134 beats a minute, but it seems pretty slow to me. I'll just give you an example. This is where I started.
Okay.
And it was like so I started at that tempo.
Okay, yeah.
And I got up to what it says, about 180, which feels like it's pretty similar to where the song's played live.
It's a massive increase, though. world of difference, man. World of difference, right?
Massive difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, to my ears, it's perfect. He's playing it perfectly. And Chris was saying at the beginning that this is a piece that's always a little tricky, and so yeah. Again, I think we've got a 3 out of 5 there, right?
I would have said so. Yeah, definitely.
Thanks so much for doing that, Chris. Really appreciate it, man. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. You can go. Time for a beer now, All right, mate. So next up, we got Patrick, I believe, right? Here we go. Patrick.
Hello. Well, I'm going to be the 1 out of 5.
Get out of it. How have you found it so far?
It's been very interesting. I started very, very slow.
Okay.
Where I've got it now, I could probably take it back a little bit.
Yeah.
The temptation is to try and keep up with Mr. Watt-Roy a little bit too fast.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, it's been a worthwhile exercise, and I think I'll carry this on over the next couple of days, try and get the line down properly.
Awesome. Right. So, if you're up for it, give us where you've got to, and then we'll do the same thing. We'll pull it back to maybe where you started doing it, or something like in between, and so we can hear the difference. Yeah.
Well, it can't be any worse than the first effort. So let's see how we go.
Awesome, absolutely awesome, man. And seriously, right? The difference. I mean, if nobody can hear that, it's like it was just bap, but just like on the money, right?
What tempo was that?
And what tempo was that actually?
Well, I've got it as 130 in the metronome.
130 on the metronome. Yeah.
And what did you start at?
Practice-wise, I took it down to 80.
Wow.
Okay.
And I took it up. I probably took it up a little fast because when I was learning the line, I was just going far too fast.
Right.
I was just too fast.
Trying to do it full.
It's messy. It's not clean, but I felt more in control there. So give it a couple of days working on it.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, and take that step back every time. Just, if you're up for it, do you want to just give us it maybe at take it back, I don't know, 20 BPM or something, and just see.
What, to 110?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a glutton here, aren't you?
No, just enjoying it. Right, that's great.
Stick at that tempo.
That's the thing, right? The difference, again, it just you can tell how much more in command of that you are. Do you know what I mean? Like now that you've done that, So awesome thing, awesome job, and again, I think we've got that's 4. Is it? We're up to 4 now. 4, yeah, 4 definite thumbs up on the thing. So it feels yes, you passed the audition. No, thanks so much, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for doing that, and it really demonstrates the point.
No hassles, lots of fun.
Cheers, Pat. See you in a bit. Bye. Okay, so we've got one player left. Here we go. Last but by no means least, Rania, how are you?
Yeah. It's tricky.
I mean, you picked, like quite a tricky piece.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I practice it. I always practice it with the backing track.
Yep.
The good thing on YouTube nowadays, all the jazz standards are on YouTube.
Yep.
So I have no idea what BPM it was. I just put it as 75%.
Okay.
And while playing it, I found out that I used to play it over here.
Yeah.
And while playing it slow, I found that it is much easier to actually play it over here.
So just slowing it down actually kind of made you look at it and go, oh.
Yeah, it gets you more conscious of easier ways to play the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah, there's so many ways to play a song.
Yeah. Yeah, and
sometimes... Yeah.
And you kind of get more inside it, don't you? Much more inside the music, the piece, than if you were just blasting away, whatever. Yeah. So, do you fancy giving us a little rendition?
I'll try to put the backing track on. So
okay.
So this is at the tempo he got to, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the original tempo from.
Right, got you. Okay. Now. Flipping awesome, man. Round of applause from the green room. Absolutely awesome. So yeah, I can't remember whether I think we everybody said that they've used this kind of practice at some point or another, but you really demonstrated there how it just it sounds like you're owning the part now, right?
Well, it's definitely not perfect, but when you play it slow, you certainly you got such a shame. I'm not English,
No,
but you get aware of that there are easy ways to play the same thing. And
sure.
You always play tempo. It's just you try to work your way around it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you see, that's another thing that's come out of this, so like the signal went a bit funny there, but yeah, is that when you slow things down, I don't think I kind of mentioned this, but, you might find an easier or a better, more economical way of playing the piece, and that's huge. So, Rainier, thanks so much. Actually, who have we got left?
Is he not going to just show us the difference, or?
Well, I mean, to be honest, it was near perfect at that speed. So, I think,
It's slow, playing it slowly is actually far more difficult for me.
No, that's two people. Two people have said
yeah,
the same.
Yeah, it is actually. Sometimes this is the case, So what I'm going to do, I mean, like I think we've hopefully, again, viewers at home, hopefully this proves a point, and hopefully you've enjoyed the process of seeing this happen, right? What I want to do quickly before everyone disappears is just kind of point people in the direction of your. In fact, what I'll do, I'll put links in the description. But if you want to just, Rani, you've got a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel and a Facebook site called Ranier's Bass Place.
Okay.
Nothing special, just me having fun with my bass.
So we'll look out for that. I will put lungs. Your English is way better than mine today, by the way.
And of course, you can check out my band Dilemma.
Check out his band
on YouTube.
Dilemma. Right. Rani, send me links through if you haven't already to anything you'd like me to post, and I'll post under the video after the fact. And Steve McGrath, let's just pull you up. One sec. Here we go.
He actually commented, he said, sweating here. Well done, everyone. Great job.
Great job. Well done, everyone. That was class. Really enjoyed it.
The clue's in the T-shirt here, man. So, you've got a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah, well, at Steve McGrath Bass on YouTube and Instagram, and then Steve McGrath's Basscraft is my podcast. I had Scott on. Yeah, he has the record for the longest episode. We could have gone for another 2 hours.
I enjoyed it. Thanks, man.
So that's it. Just at Steve McGrath, and that's my merch, Basscraft, for the podcast. So easy to find on all the apps. Cool, man. Same thing. Just bunch them all together in a list, and I can just fire them into the description. Thank you again. Jono, have you got anything like you want to share? Any sort of social media stuff?
It's just Jono on Bass on Instagram.
Right.
Jono Johnson on Facebook. Nothing special.
Give all the. No, but Again, chuck me any links you want to share, and I'll put them in like a pinned comment under the video, mate.
All right, Captain Cockgrease.
That's the most Madden joke. Like everyone's going to be going away from that video going.
Yeah, they'll be totally confused
Yeah,
if they've
yeah.
not heard this.
Thanks very much, Matt. All right. See you in a bit. And then here
That's
we
one,
go.
Scott. Absolute legend.
Cheers,
See you in a
man.
bit.
And then have you got any social media you'd like to share, whether it's base related or otherwise, or not? Well, sorry, I'm speaking now to Patrick.
Hello. The only thing I've got is an Instagram, @Delaney_base Muppet. That'll find me.
There you go. Check it out. Again, send me the link, Pat, and I'll get that in. It'd be nice to put that in. I feel like who's gone? Chris, have you got anything like band stuff or anything like that you'd like to share? Links or anything?
I've just joined another AC/DC tribute.
Cool.
Bon. So it's Bon UK. Find us on Facebook.
Brilliant.
Up and down the country. So give us a like or whatever.
Fantastic. Fantastic, Chris. Same thing, mate. If you can send me the link, I'll pin it in, in the comment, in the comments, and that should get some. So who went? We've got one missing. They've gone. I'll get all the links together anyway. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm gonna see you later, and I'll give you a message later. Thanks everybody for joining. Have we got any questions before I wrap this up, Jan?
No, I don't think so.
He's done.
No.
He's finished with us.
Hey, there we go, lads.
Is that it?
I think it is.
Okay. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to.
Just one thing. Anthony says the Ultimate Guitar Pro app is available on iOS and Android.
Fantastic.
So there you go.
So same thing. If you don't mind, if you can send me a link to that just to remind me, and I can share that as well. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Consider joining the channel. You can join for $1.99, and you get cool stuff like
this, that, and the other.
priorities in QAs, and you get behind the scenes videos and things like that. Little perks. So check that out. The join button is under the video on YouTube. And other than that, thank you from Jan.
Thank you. See you all later. Bye.
And we'll see you later. Thanks very much. Bye.